Now, Splatoon 3, as we can all agree, is a very unique game for the genre of shooters as a whole, with fun, wacky, and sometimes straight up busted main, sub, and special weapons all in combination within each other, molding into what we call in the Splatoon community weapon kits. These are all set by the devs to help match the weapon's intrinsic playstyle, just to enhance the chaotic nature of Splatoon in general. But of course, all of these kits for each of these weapons are not created within a vacuum, and plenty of weapon kits are not perfect, especially with the ever-evolving metagame of Splatoon 3. So in this video, I will be breaking down what are the most synergistic kits from every weapon class, works together in a fun and creative way that makes that said weapon enjoyable but also competitively viable simultaneously. And of course, this video is my opinion, but I'm sure most people will agree with most of these picks on the list aside from a few. Also, just because there are the most synergistic kits in my eyes doesn't mean they are necessarily the strongest in the game. So keep that in mind, even though there are bound to be a few top tiers in here. So let's hop right into this, starting with everyone's favorite privileged class, the shooter class.
Yes.
It's Squeezer, and it's not even close. Well, it was close between this and the .96 Deco with its splash wall and Kraken working damn near perfect together, but I think Squeezer has a slight edge on it, at least currently. Now, I'm not just saying that because this weapon is now like a top 3 weapon right now. I always knew this kit had potential from the get-go on the launch day of Splatoon 3. But after 1 year, now it's had its time to fully shine after that recent buff to Trizuka. Splash Wall is damn near perfect for this thing when tap shooting opponents from a far away range while being safer than the dead carcasses in my fridge. And on top of that, Trizuka just enhances both of these aspects to the extreme, giving it an aggressive / longer range attack, which basically nets this as my number 1 synergistic kit in this game right now, currently, until we get more kits, of course. Now with rollers, this was pretty much easy. Carbon Roller Deco. It has a burst bomb. What else needs to truly be said? It's damn near perfect and has been for all 3 Splatoon games. It also has Trizuka, so yeah, in terms of synergy, it's the most synergistic out of all the rollers and has been for the past 9 months. Now for chargers, this was an extremely close tie between the Z plus F charger or the Sniper Rider 5H, but I think I might give this to the Sniper Rider overall. Now hear me out, the Sniper Rider has Sprinkler and Tacticaler, which is decent overall. Sprinkler is exceptionally good with this weapon as it can help fill in the gaps of the paint of this weapon, and because this weapon is a backliner, so it automatically is pretty decent with Sprinkler as it can place sprinklers in more safer positions compared to weapons like S-Blast or like Tetras. And obviously you build up to your top tier special using sprinklers, so yeah. And Tacticaler, aside from giving you and your whole team quick respawn, it also gives buff stats, which if you don't know, the strafing speed of this weapon is very important due to having multiple shots. And the main weapon within the right hands is extremely deadly, but also has a very high skill ceiling, similar to like E-Leader. Now for sloshers, it was between V-Slosh and Sloshing Machine, but after like a millisecond of thought, it's easily Sloshing Machine. Sloshing Machine was a weapon that was once hailed as one of the best weapons in the game, has fallen off after the bombarding amount of nerfs it's gained, or as I should say, loss. But the core synergy of the kit has yet to be gone. Starting off, we have the Fizzy Bomb that allows you to not only have a longer range means of attack, but also gives you an exceptionally capable comboing tool that just fits so well with the area of effect that this weapon can provide. And onto that, Fizzy Bomb paints the most out of any sub, has insane object damage, and is only 60% ink consumption rate, which is just sheer insanity. And Booyah Bomb is, well, just Booyah Bomb. It's a special that it's always been consistently good since it was added in Splatoon 2, and honestly it could theoretically work with any kit in my eyes. It's just that versatile and that consistent. And Sloshing Machine itself, while slow and can sometimes be quite easy to run down, as losing, you're basically dying, and as losing to keep a good distance between your enemies is truly can be the downfall of this weapon, but still I think it's the most synergistic out of all the sloshes. Now, Splatlings, there was an insane amount of competition between all of these, but I think I'm going to have to give it to the Ballpoint Nouveau. Now, I was contemplating whether V Ballpoint was perhaps better, or maybe even the new Heavy Edit Splatling, which I must add has been one of the most fun weapons I've played in a while. Now, for the V Ballpoint, and I know this was ironic of me after just praising Fizzy Bomb, but Fizzy Bomb is quite useless on this weapon specifically. The only thing it really kind of helps in is chip damage, but that's about it. But I mean, this weapon can already paint pretty good for its special, has good object damage, and can defend against itself in close quarter situations, so I don't actually see the use with Fizzy Bomb on this weapon than just wasting 60% of your ink tank. And I think Inkjet is literally perfect for this weapon, no problems there. Now on to Heavy Edit. I think it's also dragged down with its sub, which is Curling Bomb. As well, it can be helpful in very niche situations, combined with the overall great ink efficiency of this weapon. Curling Bomb is just super expensive at 70% of your ink tank. As, 10% less, you can get a Fizzy Bomb that basically does what a Curling Bomb does, but infinitely more. Now with Ballpoint Nouveau, you get the same fantastic main weapon that is Ballpoint Splatling with ink mines and ink vat. Now I know on paper that isn't something to be gawking about, but this kit is theoretically, synergistically flawless. Ink mines actually help you combo damage, especially when an opponent gets right up in your face, and its location abilities are just generally really good for Splatlings. And Ink Vac basically gives you a complete inverse of your weapon by allowing you to push/absorb damage for you and your team in a wide area instead of outputting a high amount of damage in a wide area. And let me tell you, people are seriously sleeping on the potential that Ink Vac has, as it can literally be the crucial special that can lead you into victory sometimes. Dark Tetra Dualies are not only one of the most technical weapons to master, but I think it's also has one of the most synergistic kits in all of the game. Now when ranking these dualies, I was thinking about V dualies with their Suction Bomb and Crab Tank, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized that there really isn't that much kit synergy between the weapons, and I think Suction Bomb is just really basic for it, and honestly doesn't really work well with a weapon that likes to constantly move from one area to another with agility, so giving it a stationary bomb is a little perplexing. And Crab Tank, while good, doesn't really give you a way to complement your main weapon, because, well, the Crab Tank is your main weapon. So while it's a solid kit, it's not what I would rank for something that's super fun per se to consistently play. Dark Tetras, on the other hand, has an auto bomb, a bomb that literally moves with you as you move and can basically have you do something when you're on your downtime. And guess what? You have 4 dodge rolls. So yeah, it is overall just a very cheap all-purpose bomb for this weapon that can come in clutch when in need. And Reef Slider, while not in the best spot currently, works well with it because, you guessed it, it has 4 dodge rolls that you can use after your Reef Slider. So if you're going to die, you want to die with Reef Slider with Dark Tetras, because at least you'll know that you had a chance whenever dying to Reef Slider, specifically on this weapon. So I think this is my pick here. Tentac Cella is pretty self-explanatory. and that's why it's up here. The kit has ink mines, which combos very well with the inconsistent damage this weapon has sometimes, and works well with when you're trying to push with your Brella shield. And Trizuka is just perfect with the shield, minimizing the vulnerabilities that the special can have, while also significantly coming at the cost of making it more predictable to counteract, because now you're going to have this big shield, so you know that they're about to pop out with Trizuka. So I'm fairly sure no one can argue with this spot here. Rapid Blaster Deco and Pro Deco are both tied, to be honest here. Both kits work very well with their respective weapons, and Rapid Blaster Pro has a fantastic bomb with it, Torpedo, that can combo perfectly with it and locate enemies within its range of attack. And Inkjet just amplifies both of these aspects morphed into one, giving you the ability to shoot one powerful shot at a high vantage point with little to no consequence, now with the significant buffed up jump boost. Pro Deco has a worse sub with Angle Shooter, but it lines up pretty well with the weapon, giving you a pretty strong but inconsistent comboing tool. And its short location effect is also useful, as this is an AoE weapon. And Killer Whale also just works wonders, as for some reason Killer Whale just works fantastically on long mid-range weapons, and locating and just chipping damage over with its global range. Overall, these are probably two of the most fun, perfectly crafted kits that I just really wish I could choose one over the other, but I just can't, because they're both equally that good in my eyes. Normal Ink Brush takes this spot here, which is surprising to see the default weapon slash kit to be the most synergistic, as most vanilla kits tend to be more basic to slowly immerse the player into the playstyle of the weapon. Quick overview, Splat Bomb is just really useful, as it's a get off me tool, and it's the ultimate jack of all trades sub weapon in the game to give this weapon. Killer Whale just gives you, it basically makes your melee weapon into a longer range, global range, chip away damage special. Well, it doesn't really transform it, but you get the idea. It basically extends your range, which this weapon really does need sometimes, and you can use it while zipping halfway across the map. So I just think it's a very good synergistic kit that works really well with it, and I think it's the most synergistic out of the whole brush class currently. Normal Tri-Stringer has the most synergy out of all the 3 stringer kits that we have currently. Reflux is just out of the picture, as the main weapon is too inconsistent. Currently Bomb is basically useless with it, and it can't spam missiles as much as it was able to before. Inkline Tri-Stringer has Sprinkler with it, and which does help it with its already decent paint, and it also benefits from being a backliner. But the problem is that this weapon is extremely easy to run down, because eventually you're going to have to go in with your teammates to use your chumps effectively. And if a frontliner gets a hold of you, 9 times out of 10 you're dead due to the horrendous close quarters fighting capabilities of this weapon. Sprinkler nor Super Chumps will ever help you in this situation. Normal Tri-Stringer, on the other hand, is honestly very underrated and theoretically could be as fantastic as its synergy. Toxic Mist can help you take control of area and works well with your AoE shots, practically trapping your opponents within the mist, and Killer Whale helps extend its range / displace the whole area. And if an opponent runs up on you and you have your Toxic Mist, it gives you an opportunity to escape safely, giving it a slight edge over the Inkline kit in my opinion. Now lastly, we have the Splatanas. Out of all the 3 kits that we currently have, I'm going to give the edge to the Splatana Wiper. Now one reason is its bomb, which is currently Torpedo, which just honestly fits the weapon way more than a Burst Bomb. And now that Burst Bomb has higher ink consumption, less spammable, and is way more potent to sub resistance, I think Torpedo just gives you way more options to do stuff that this weapon likes to do, instead of what Burst Bomb and Stamper has. Torpedo allows you to combo just like a burst bomb, while also giving it the ability to hit angles that any burst bomb would be unable to hit. And while Beacon is good on the Deco kit, it's nice to have as a different playstyle, but it's pretty inept in gameplay other than providing a somewhat safe area for you and your teammates to jump to. An Ultra Stamp is somewhat decent for as it basically gives you an enhanced version of your main weapon, being able to push in, and if you don't die to how vulnerable it can be sometimes, it can be one of the most satisfying specials to use in the entire game. But also Zipcaster on Stamper is also pretty fun, and it's also pretty inconsistent along with it, as it also suffers from a short duration and even shorter because of the ink efficiency nerf to it. And Tentamissiles, while it's good for the Deco kit, doesn't really interact with the main weapon in any meaningful way, except for the occasional combo from the missiles. So I have to give this one to the Splatana Wiper for its fun and creative playstyle that enables you to play in some of the most creative but also some of the most surprising plays that you'll ever see that most other weapons will be unable to provide. So that's why this kit is up here for the most synergistic kit in my eyes out of the three wipers slash stamper that we have. Alright, welcome to the end of the video. We'll make it quick. I hope you enjoyed hearing my takes on these assortments of Splatoon weapons and their fun, creative, synergistic kits in my eyes. So I hope you had a great day, and I'll see you later or never. I don't know. Who knows? Bye bye.